Everyone seems to think that the number one thing that you need when it comes down to a weight loss journey is that you just need to be more disciplined. And for me, I don't necessarily think that that's the problem. That's the answer. I lost 70 pounds as a girly who's been overweight pretty much my whole life. And I don't think discipline is the thing that really moved the needle. Once I had a substantial amount of weight change and people could really notice the difference, they're like, how did you become so disciplined to do this? How are you disciplined enough to wake up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym? How are you disciplined enough to go to Pilates classes? How are you disciplined enough to just do your walks every day? How are you disciplined enough to stick to your calorie deficit? And for a minute, I used to really ask myself the same question. How are these girls being disciplined long enough to actually see results? Because I was probably just like you at one point in my journey. I was looking at videos on how to lose weight and how to stay consistent and how to just actually do it. Because for me, I thought I was doing everything right. I'm going to the gym, I'm eating healthy, but the scale wasn't moving. I think I was sitting back waiting for myself to magically become this person who meal preps all the time. And that was something that I honestly just could not even get myself to do. So many people are successful online from having meal prepped meals, and it was like I could not get myself to be disciplined enough to do that. And I'm just like, forget it. I'm not going to be successful because I can't meal prep. And I think to just even look back at all of this, I was trying to solve the wrong problem. See, the thing wasn't just like me becoming disciplined and creating these new habits that obviously would just magically make me a better person, but I had to change the identity for the habits to catch up first. So the biggest change in the weight loss journey isn't necessarily the habits. It's actually the identity, because the identity creates the habits. One of the first conscious decisions that I had to make, and I don't even think it was conscious, I just was really in this space where I'm like, I have to really be cognizant about the words that are actually coming out of my mouth. And for so long, I was a girl who was like, oh, I'm trying to lose 30 pounds. I'm just trying to get down to this number. I'm trying to be comfortable in my skin. I was always coming from a place of, oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that, instead of coming from a place of authority and claiming that this is just what's going to happen. I don't know what the shift was. Actually, I do know. I was getting married and I was turning 30, and I don't know. Something about turning 30 for me was liberating. So many people were scared to turn 30, baby. I was pressed. I'm like, oh, I'm stepping into this grown woman energy. And guess what? All this insecurity, all of this being uncomfortable in my body, this weight that I'm carrying, she can't come with me. And once I made that decision in my mind, that really helped me show up as a new person and somewhat in a new identity. I started really asking myself different questions. Stop going on Google or YouTube and saying, oh, how to lose weight, how to do a low carb diet, how to do keto. I started asking a different question. Who is the woman that I am becoming? Because I don't want to say who is the woman that I'm trying to become, because trying is coming from a space of lack. We need to come from a space of certainty, authority, decisiveness, make a decision. And that's really where the power lies in anything that you're trying to create consistency or discipline around. For me, I'm such a visual person, so I will really get on Pinterest or I will watch videos and just immerse myself in the idea of what a healthy woman looks like.
Romanticize how it's going to feel when you finally achieve your goal. Romanticize how it's going to feel when you can finally get into that pair of jeans. Romanticize how it's going to feel when you finally see the number that you want to see on the scale. Like, tap into that emotion, tap into that feeling. And if you even still have a hard time doing that, something that you guys can do is make a vision board. I like to make a vision board on Pinterest sometimes. Have a vision board specifically titled body goals. And sometimes even if I'm in a place of like low motivation, when I get on the treadmill, I'm looking at my vision board of the body goals. And obviously we all have different bodies, so I'm not necessarily going to look like Lori Harvey or anything. but I can be pretty damn close. You know what I mean? So take the time to love on yourself, visualize yourself, and spend that time with yourself. That's the thing. We have this life where everything's on the go, on the go, on the go. But take the time to really sit with yourself, sit with your higher self so she can pop out.
What does she do? I had to get to a point where I realized like a healthy woman doesn't just eat salads. She doesn't just think about, oh, I need to do this because I'm health conscious. A healthy woman honors the commitments that she's made to herself. A healthy woman keeps those promises to herself, because keeping commitments and promises to yourself really teaches you how to build up that self-trust within, so you don't fall back into the habits that got you here in the first place. She honestly just thinks differently, has a more optimistic outlook on how to approach who she's becoming. So just for some weight loss examples, a healthy woman, she might choose, getting her steps in. She might choose, instead of on her 15-minute break in between meetings scrolling on TikTok, she may choose, let me go read a chapter on my audiobook or listen to a podcast and walk some laps around my building at work. That is what a healthy woman would do when she's trying to really force change that identity. Because even just aside from the moving her body piece, she's intaking new information with a book or a podcast to help put her in that new identity. She might choose to cook dinner versus going out to eat, because the thing about going out to eat is they may tell us a calorie amount, but it might not be accurate, because if they're following the recipe to a T, then it should be accurate. But a lot of times they might not. It might be more butter, it might be more oil, and those things add up calorie wise. And another thing is, when you go out to eat, you're probably eating way more servings than you actually need, but you can teach yourself how to cook, how to explore different things when you cook at home, and how to train your body to eat the correct portion. Because as long as you are going out to eat, they're going to give you more food than you actually need. And I don't know about y'all, but I really struggled with the serving piece in the beginning, because especially going out to eat, I used to always feel this pressure to finish my food, and finishing your food is what's actually keeping you overweight in reality, because it aids in the fact that you're not in a calorie deficit. Because 9 times out of 10, if you go out to eat, it's probably 1,000 calories for the meal itself. So if you're finishing that and you're only allotted 1,500, 1,600 calories, you already ate all of your calories, majority for the day, and you're left like 500. So if you're eating a breakfast that's 1,000 calories, that's crazy, because you still have lunch and dinner. I've considered myself to have eaten pretty healthy throughout the day. For breakfast, I only had egg bites from Starbucks, but then I had some snacks in between. And then for lunch, I had, a healthy smoothie bowl that was probably still 500 calories itself. So it's like, you really got to be cognizant of when you eat out those calories, because you have to kind of make room for them. Essentially, you have to make room for them, basically eating less throughout the day, or you got to make sure you're moving your body more to burn those calories. And moving your body takes a lot more energy than to just be more mindful about what you eat. Once I knew the version of myself that I was becoming, decisions became a lot easier for me, honestly. Instead of really asking myself like, do I feel like this, or do I feel like cooking, or do I feel like eating a salad today, do I feel like eating stir fry, I asked myself a different question. And it was really, what would the healthiest version of me do in this situation today? Would she get the 5K steps, or would she get the 10K steps? Would she cook at home, or would she just go to Whole Foods and try to get something that's healthy-ish? I don't want you guys to think that this is an all or nothing kind of like decision. Like, once you choose an identity, you have to absolutely stick to it all the time. Because here's the thing, there are days where I still chose the cookie. There are days when I still skipped the workout. One decision that never changed was I was not changing the identity. The thing is, you just got to get back to the regular schedule program. You just got to get back to what you're doing the next day, or the next meal, or the next hour of the day. Like, you're not going to sit in something and create a new habit out of that bad thing. It's just a moment in time to where it's like, all right, we slipped up, we had a little fun, back to the game plan. I want you all to really think about it. Every decision that you make is a vote towards the person that you're becoming. Is this going to push you closer to that, or is this going to pull you further away? Now, this whole like discipline and identity piece, this comes for more than weight loss itself as well. I realized discipline and identity, it's not just about weight loss. When I think about it, it's how I moved to Dallas solo by myself, not really knowing anybody here.
To adjust to this new life, and I am scared.
So my dad just called me and he asked me if I was okay. And I just instantly start crying. It's like everybody just keep asking me if I'm okay, and I'm not.
It's about how I actually committed to YouTube in a season and became monetized in 6 months.
Ooh, I'm so cute.
Happy 1K.
Oh, thank you.
It's about how me and my husband buckled down and really bought a house.
Take us in.
It's good, dog.
So we're all done with title, and we're now at our new house.
It is really how I have built every chapter in my life. Now, I'm not going to say every chapter in my life has been amazing, because baby, it has not. Honestly, life for me just started getting good within these last 4 years of me moving to Dallas. And I'm not going to say like moving to Dallas is like the all be all. Moving to Dallas was me making a decision that I was no longer going to identify as the girl back in Detroit, as the overweight person back in Detroit, as the girl who had social anxiety and couldn't stay consistent. It was moving to Dallas that took me out of that environment for me to change that. So the thing is, the identity actually comes before the evidence even makes itself present, even makes itself known. I knew when I moved to Dallas, my life is going to look different. I didn't have a job. I didn't have an apartment. I said, I'm going to move up out of Detroit. I'm going to change my environment. And wherever I get a job first, that's where I'm going. Started applying for jobs in Dallas, and I started applying for jobs in Atlanta because I knew I had a cousin here in Dallas and I had a friend in Atlanta. I didn't know like what decision was best, but I knew that I no longer wanted to be a part of the identity that I was at 27 in my apartment, in my life where everything kind of good on paper, but I was uncomfortable in my body. I was uncomfortable in life. I knew I had to make a decision, and I knew my life wasn't going to change overnight. And I knew it might not be perfect, but I also told myself, like, I'm moving. At least it's only a year. If I don't like it, I can always move back home. Making the deciding factor that I was going to move here, it changed my life. It changed the way that I show up. It changed my habits. And I think the environment alone can help aid in the discipline and the changing of your habits, because just weather alone allowed me and made me want to be outside a lot more. In Michigan, it's really only warm maybe in the summertime. The rest of the time it's kind of like hit or miss, for real. I want to end with, if you are really struggling with consistency, I want you to stop asking yourself the question of, how can I just become more disciplined just so I can be consistent, so I can see my goals show up? I want you to really get in a place to where you start asking yourself, who am I becoming? Because your habits will follow that identity. Because right now, your identity is the person who cannot stay consistent. Your identity is the person who is still overweight. Your identity is the person of someone who might hate their job. Your identity is the person who wants to become a creator, but it feels so far away. So I need you guys to really tap in, lock in, figure out who you're becoming. Once you know who you're becoming, that will help the habits show up, because you're going to be able to act from a place of the person you're becoming instead of acting from a place of the person that you are now, who does not have the things that you want. I got to a point to where, even just for myself, I stopped asking people's opinions. I've stopped asking from advice from people whose lives did not look like mine. And you kind of have to do that same thing with yourself in this identity piece, because it's like you're asking yourself, what do I have to do to become more disciplined? Who do you have to become to be more disciplined? It's like the real question in itself. This video really resonated with you today. Something that I have been doing with each of my YouTube videos is I've been going a little bit deeper with them over on Substack, which is the Lucky Girl Club. If you guys are not a part of the Lucky Girl Club, I highly encourage you to join. We are growing over there. In the Substack, I'm actually going to go a lot deeper into how to actually change your identity, really using neuroscience, practical habits, and really just some solid mindset shifts that actually helped me change my identity, lose the weight, change my career, make decisions, move throughout this life, even though it's scary. And it has truly landed me in a dream life. It's truly landed me in a life that I love, in a life that I'm not uncomfortable in, and a life that I'm not trying to escape from. So if you guys want to know more, I encourage you guys to check out my Substack. It is free, and it is the Lucky Girl Club. And I will go ahead and link that down below in the description for you guys. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.